The people of the Middle East today are varied in many differences, appearances, and cultures. Today, in the Middle East, there is a misconception on the root and nationality of the people. Many in the Middle East believe that people like Syrians, Lebanese, Iraqis, and Palestinians descend from Arabs of Arabia. But actually, we see the differences that prove otherwise. Why do I say this? Because we have to see and understand that these nations are based on nationality and not on ethnicity. For example, Greek, Persian, Turkish can be considered as ethnicities, but other Middle Eastern nations are not ethnicities. The people of the Levant today, like Syria or Lebanon and Palestine, may be a mix of Greek, Persian, Canaanite, Nabatean, and also Turkish ethnicities. So you see that the people of these ethnicities are multi-ethnics. Why so? Because of the Greek and Persian settlement and rule over the Middle East in ancient times, and also because of military rule of the Crusaders and Ottomans. Even so, the French and German Crusaders married local women in their military conquest, adding to some Middle Easterners another genetic influence. Another example is the Byzantine Empire, which was a Greco-Christian empire, and also the Persian Empire. The Byzantine Empire ruled parts of the Middle East like Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine, and the Persian Empire ruled parts like Iraq. So, the Byzantine and Persian Empire engaged each other in a series of wars throughout time until the Rashidun Islamic Khalifa started emerging from the south and fought the Byzantine and Persian Empire, which in history managed to defeat them in the Middle East and Persia and conquer land in the Middle East. So, the impact of this event shows that the Rashidun Khalifa was an Islamic empire which sought to spread Islam. The Greek and Persian settlers in the Middle East didn't in fact left or perished, but converted to Islam under military rule. So this is the starter point for these nations like Palestinians, Jordanians, Syrians, Iraqis, etc., which are actually, in my opinion and theory, mostly Greek and Persian converts to Islam after they were conquered by the Khalifa. So, these countries from Indo-European heritage have been converted in the Middle East. So now these people, after thousands of years, have inherited on themselves the religious culture of the Nabateans who came from the south. And now, these Indo-Europeans, Middle Easterners, believe on themselves to be the remnants of the Arabian prophets and nation, which they are not. How do we know that? First, the nation of the Nabatean, like the old Egyptians, are dark-skinned and are depicted this way in the hieroglyphs in Egypt. The Nabateans, as I spoke in my previous video, are people of desert and dark skin of Caucasian racial descent. But the thing is, these Indo-European Middle Easterners don't have the same skin color complexity like the Bedouins have. Also, they don't live like them, as they live much more modern in an advanced way of lifestyle. The Bedouins, as the people of the Quran, are in fact living the Islamic lifestyle, which is by nomadic tent dwelling and horse or camel riding. But these other Middle Easterners, since they are of, European origin, can really cope with the Islamic lifestyle, which they don't really understand the essence of Islam, which is not only a religion but also a simplistic lifestyle. And that's why you see in countries like Syria and Iraq the rise of extremism and Daesh, since these Europeans are not able to live the nomadic lifestyle. So they go in another direction which serve their purpose in limiting their life and maintaining balance in nature. We see many terrorist organizations like Hamas, Fatah, Hezbollah, Daesh والدولة الإسلامية, which have been born from the extremism of these Islamic Europeans. One guy from Iraq that I met on Facebook sent me a genetical test of his, which purpose is not the most accurate considering these companies are hoax and will sell the people inaccurate results. But for the most part, in his test, I saw some strong highlights that indicate my point for mixed multi-ethnic. So you can see in this photo the genetical tract of the Iraqi guy I met. So we have 98.7% West Asia and North African, which means that his genetical history is mostly from the Middle East, though through much generations. But we see also that he scores at least 26.5% in Northern West ASEAN, and that is Iraq and Iran, which means uh, Persian DNA. Then you have 14.5% Levantine, which can mean couple of things, but really it says that he holds Canaanite DNA. So we already have Canaanite DNA and Persian DNA, which make around 41%. Then rest is not defined because we don't really know what they mean by Arab, since from my perspective it doesn't really represent much, since in reality it can only have something like 5% Nabatean DNA from his ancestors. And for example, you can really call him Arab if you compare a guy from Iraq to a guy from Yemen and call them both Arabs when they look totally different. Today, these Indo-European Middle Easterners have developed and invented many unique things of their own, like clothing, music, dance, and foods. So these nations have existed for many years and from their creativity made to themselves all different kinds of cultures. Most of the Middle Eastern nations speak the Arabic language, which expanded itself with the conquest. Previously, the languages of the Middle East were Greek, Aramaic, Hebrew, and Arabic. On the other hand, the Islamic religion mostly dominates the Middle East, being divided into Sunni and Shia sects. The European people of the Middle East have chosen and still continue with the Islamic ideology as part of their nature in life, and have led themselves to extremisms, although it's their part in nature. And this extremism will take notice in future years, when big wars will erupt and most of the Middle East will be in severe ruins. Then I think, after time, they will try to change themselves by promoting a nationalistic or liberalistic approach to try and advance their countries and rebuild themselves from the ruins of destruction.